Next up, we have Brad Underwood, Managing Director, Galileo Mining Limited.
These are our main messages, and hopefully if you're thinking about us in the future, you'll be able to recall some of the main points about our company. We have made a nickel and palladium discovery near the small town of Norseman in Western Australia that is called Callisto. We now have a mineral resource around that, and we are looking to explore further along strike to make more discoveries of the same kind. Having said that, we are definitely a specialist exploration company. You've heard from a number of mining companies this morning. We focus on the high-risk, high-reward area of exploration. We've been successful in the past, and we try and do it again, but past success is no guarantee for the future. We've had some luck, and hopefully we'll have some more as we continue to explore. Currently, we're undertaking campaign drilling programs within a 20-kilometre zone around the Callisto discovery. Some really good prospects that we'll be working on with multiple drill programs before the end of the year. We've got an early discovery market valuation, which means if we have continued success, we can prove up more resources. We'd expect the valuation of the company to grow very, very quickly. And importantly, we're well funded, $14.5 million as at the end of June. So our corporate snapshot, like a lot of companies, our share price has taken a battering over the past 6 months, had a slight recovery on Monday, and then got hit again today. So it is difficult times in the market. However, we are well funded, and the last time we raised capital was at $1.20. So we're in no rush to go back to the market for more money. What we're in a rush to do is to make more discoveries. Mark Creasy is our major shareholder, well-known West Australian, and a major shareholder of a number of companies presenting here today. IGO is our second largest shareholder. They also presented this morning. Board and management, myself, a geologist, Noel O'Brien, a metallurgist, Matt White is our company secretary with a finance background, and Cecilia Kamari, a law background. So a well-rounded mix of talents and abilities for the type of company that we aspire to be. Our Norseman project, it's in a fantastic location within a very well-established mining region. This area has been explored for the past 130 years. There are a large number of mines already existing in the area. We are about 10 kilometres from the small mining town of Norseman, 3 kilometres from a sealed highway, and adjacent to that sealed highway, we have a gas pipeline, a water pipeline, and a railway. All of this infrastructure means that if the project goes through to development, the capital costs are much reduced because of the location. We also have a granted mining lease. We're already advanced enough to have that with the resource within it. This is the discovery we made in May 2022 last year. I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen there, but there is hole number 266 intersected over 33 metres, just over 2 grams per tonne 4E. For us, 4E is a combination of palladium, platinum, gold, and the world's most expensive precious metal, which is rhodium. Accompanying that is nickel and copper, and it all occurs as a disseminated sulfide deposit. Since then, we completed a lot of follow-up drilling, delivered many more intersections, wide thicknesses of similar grades, and we've done 25,000 metres of RC, over 12,000 metres of diamond, which has allowed us to produce a very robust geological model. The mineralisation is within a sill, which is a discrete rock unit. It's consistent and continuously mineralised over the extent of that sill. It starts at 75 metres below surface, 300 metres strike length, and continues down for 800 metres. The host rock is a low olivine peroxenite, and without getting into the details of the geology too much, what that means is that most of the nickel is contained within the sulfide. Some rocks have a very high background nickel within the silicate, which is very hard to extract. Almost all of our nickel is contained within the sulfide, which allows us the opportunity to extract that through standard sulfide flotation techniques. The ultramafic complex, which contains the sill, we can trace that in magnetics for 20 kilometres, and that's providing us with the targets that we'll be drilling at the end of this month, at the end of the next month, and continuing into 2024. I should mention also that this deposit occurs at the southern end of the Norseman-Wiluna Greenstone Belt. Over the past 50 years, this area has been responsible for most of Australia's nickel production. It's a very established nickel-producing region. This is our resource model. We have 17.5 million tonnes, just over 1 gram per tonne 4E, 0.2 nickel, 0.16 copper. That is a palladium equivalent of around 2.3 grams. You'll see in the green area that is near surface, that is the indicated resource of approximately 8 million tonnes. About half the resource is indicated. The blue area is the inferred resource as it starts to dip to the east, and the brown area, the lower part, is unclassified mineralisation. This is where we've hit mineralisation, but it's not part of the resource because we don't have the drill density in that area to include it. It means it continues to be open at depth and has significant scope for expansion. It's our mineral resource estimate with all of the details. We've got just under 1.3 million ounces of palladium equivalent, around 90,000 tonnes of nickel equivalent. This presentation is available online, also at our booth if you wish to look at the details. Very importantly for any discovery is to understand the ability to extract the metal from the rock. If you can't take metal out of the rock, then it's a beautiful geological specimen, but it doesn't have much economic value. What we've demonstrated is that through standard industry sulfide flotation techniques, we can recover most of the metal. And it's very important to know that this style of mineralisation is currently being mined in South Africa. Wide zones of disseminated sulfide with palladium, platinum, gold, rhodium, nickel and copper are found at the Platte Reef deposits. We have looked at the way that the metallurgy works at those deposits. We've replicated it and we've seen similar results. The results that they get in at the Platte Reef are actually better than ours because they've been in production for decades. And we think we will be able to improve the metallurgy when we optimise the processing for the type of rock that we have. Having said that our deposit is analogous to the Platte Reef deposits, the other thing that gives us encouragement is that in South Africa, the Platte Reef deposits occur along a very long trend. It's over tens of kilometres where there are a number of very large deposits. We know from the style of mineralisation at that location that there is a particular area at the base of the ultramafic sills where mineralised disseminated sulfide intrusions have been placed that occurs at the same location in the same stratigraphic line. So here at Callisto we have over 20 kilometres of strike length of potential where at the base of the host rock we might encounter additional disseminated sulfide deposits, and that's currently our major target. I said at the beginning we're very much an exploration company. This is very much what we're focused on. We see this as a new area, the potential for a new belt and a potential for many new discoveries. We also have the Mission Sill trend, which is a parallel mafic, ultramafic host rock complex. We've got some early stage air core and RC results. It's not as advanced as the Callisto trend, but exactly the same sort of rocks, and we believe this area is just as prospective for new discoveries. This area has been thought of as prospective for over 50 years, so we're not the first people to identify the prospectivity, but we are the first to identify a resource and to understand how that's formed within the regional stratigraphy. We now have that basal position as our key target, and we'll be investigating that with a combination of campaign RC drilling and geophysical IP surveying to give us the targets to go and drill test. These are two of our more advanced prospects. As you can imagine, we start with the Callisto discovery and we build out slowly. We can increase our understanding of the geology through every drill program that we undertake, and by increasing our understanding, it improves our chances of success. On the right-hand side, you'll see there's a 5-kilometre target trend, very evident in the magnetics. We've done a lot of field mapping in the area. We've identified discrete intrusions, some of which we believe have potential to host disseminated sulfides. We'll be drill testing these at the end of the month We've already done one round of early drill testing, scout drilling in this area. We're waiting for the assay results for that program. On the left-hand side is our South Callisto prospect. This is an area where we have a number of shallow RC drill results with palladium, platinum and nickel. The magnetic interpretation tells us that there is an intrusion at depth. We'll go back and test that for disseminated sulfides within the basement. Within a newly discovered area, there's a huge opportunity for other discoveries because we now have the funding to go and undertake drilling where no one else has been before. We have intersected very wide zones of palladium and platinum of a different style. This is more of the reefs, the very seam style mineralization that occurs in other parts of the world, more higher grade and narrower. So we are seeing some small intersections of higher grades. We're keeping our minds and eyes open about the potential of this new area to deliver other types of discoveries. Also have our Jimbalana prospect. There are semi-massive sulfides on each edge of an ultramafic sill, some relatively low-grade results, but certainly anomalous, and we are currently waiting for drill assays from work we undertook in September. Our next steps, we're waiting for those drill assays. When we get those back, we'll go and start our next round of RC drilling, which is locked in for the end of October. After that, we have one more drill campaign this year at the end of November. We'll start our IP surveying next month, and we're building up targets for drill testing in 2024. We've got funding for a large number of drill campaigns, and we'll be doing that over the next 12 months. We also have our Fraser Range project, a very nickel prospective ground. We heard Oliver Kitty talk about Legend and IGO this morning. This is an area where high-value discoveries can be made. Because it's undercover, we do rely on geophysical techniques to build up our drill targets. We've undertaken a large amount of electromagnetic surveying. We've already drill tested some of those targets. We've identified fertile nickel, copper, cobalt intrusions, and we still have untested EM targets. Our Lantern South and Lantern East prospects, you can see on the magnetic map there, the change in colour is where the intrusive is, the purple or blue colour. A long strike from that at our Easterly prospect and at our Green Moon prospect remain untested EM conductors that are adjacent to areas where we know sulfide accumulations occur. So we'll be drill testing these as well. We're a well-funded and well-supported junior exploration company. We've got an early discovery valuation. We know if we make another discovery, the value will improve very quickly. We have our prospects both at Norseman, which we own 100%, and our joint venture in the Fraser Range. We've got a highly experienced team. We've made discoveries in the past. We've drilled them out to JORC compliance status, do the early stage permitting, and then we look for other people to do the mining. That's our niche area of we like to think we're good at. We've been successful in the past, and we hopefully will be able to be so again in the future. And we're focused on high demand metals, which of course includes the theme of this conference, which is nickel. If you've got any questions or comments, we've got a booth out there. Presentations available online, and thanks very much for listening.